Hi, I'm Eileen Roach from Designs and Machine Embroidery, and I'm so excited to be here. This is gift number 7, and I'm going to have a special guest join me any minute. So what is gift number 7? Well, I love metallic ornaments because they're classic, they're festive, and they used to be challenging, but they're not anymore. And my special guest, when she arrives, she's going to be here any minute, will share her expertise on why metallic ornaments are not challenging anymore. Okay, so let's see how many people are here. If you could just give me kind of a shout out and let me know that you can hear me, a thumbs up, then we'll get started. All right, come on in, Deborah Jones. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Oops, that's okay. So I was just saying that metallic thread, you know, working with metallic thread used to be so challenging. It would require a special needle, maybe a special way to feed the thread into the machine. Right. And, you know, of course, stabilizers were a challenge too because we didn't have as many choices.
And it broke all the time.
Right, all the time. No more.
Right.
We have found a brand that is made in Japan called Kingstar that does absolutely beautiful stitches and doesn't require a special needle. Deborah's going to share some of her expertise about metallic threads before we show you some of our great samples. Like we have garlands, we're going to decorate greeting cards, and gift wrap, right?
Right, because there's so many ways you can use it now that you can actually stitch enough to make lace and make some of these beautiful things you're going to show us.
Yeah.
And so we have found this beautiful thread that's used in the kimono industry in Japan. And in the kimono industry, those things are covered in beautiful, soft, metallic. And this metallic thread is partly so soft because it's wrapped in a layer of rice paper. And that gives it pliability and suppleness. And then on top of that is the color and the silver. And it's all wrapped in a very thin polyester shell. So it's no wonder that this is a fragile thread, but the Kingstar thread has overcome the kinking, the twisting, the breaking, and in fact, it just really comes off the cone so easily and just literally pools or puddles without the kinking and twisting that we used to experience with the metallics. So you can feed it either horizontally or vertically. You don't need any special attachments. It's going to feed right through your tensioners. And as Eileen mentioned, you don't need a special needle because previously, because of the fact that the threads were so very fragile, they required a larger eye. So that's why you purchased a Metallica needle or a special metallic needle of another brand. And they had a really large eye, which made that needle really susceptible to breakage. And it had a universal point. So today with Kingstar, you can use the proper needle for the fabric type.
Oh, so if you are stitching on like a faux suede like this, then you don't have to worry about the focusing on the thread, you focus on the fabric.
That's right. And, you know, even this taffeta stocking, you know, a universal needle would not be great for this because it has a small ballpoint. We want a sharp needle for this fabric.
Look how pretty that is. And that lettering, it's completely filled in. Look how that satin, that beautiful coverage that you get on this Kingstar metallic. It's beautiful, Deborah. I imagine you're going to take this home in a couple of weeks, right? And get it up on the mantle.
Exactly, because I do use the things I embroider. I don't give them all away.
Yeah, and this is going on my table this Halloween. Look at this fun spider web, all stitched in our silver metallic, the Kingstar. It is awesome. Not one thread break. And I put it in the needle and I put it in the bobbin so that it would be reversible. As all of our snowflakes that you see here on the tree have all been done with the same bobbin thread as the top thread. You just wind the bobbin, and no special treatment on that either. Maybe slow it down, you know.
You can, sure, because, you know, it is a little stiffer than your regular embroidery thread. So a little bit slower helps. But honestly, you know, there's very little exceptions. You need to make sews just like regular embroidery thread.
Right. And because it's a little stiffer, it is great for ornaments because they stand up on the tree, right? Look how they just stand in place. They're not flopping over. Now, the stabilizer that we choose, we used to use a film type of water-soluble stabilizer, but today we use the water-soluble mesh, right?
Right, because, you know, those film types, you might know them as Badge Master, Romeo, some of those super heavy, sulky, ultra solvy. But, you know, we don't use those for lace anymore because most of your lace designers will tell you that they perforate.
Right.
And so this mesh is very fabric-like, and it gives you a better ability to stitch this whole hoop full without having that breakage of the background material.
And one of the features of a ornament normally is heavy satin stitches, which is a ton of needle penetration. So, you know, on your film type, that would easily punch out. So I like to hoop 2 layers of the mesh. And then I dissolve, you know, I cut away as much as I can. And then I rinse it in hot water, as hot as my hands can stand, not boiling, because I actually want to leave a little in there to make it a little bit stiffer. You know, there's no harm in that. Right. And then you can dry it and press it into shape. So let's see, let's take this ornament off the tree. So here's my 3 snowflakes in 3 different sizes. And if you're wondering where these are from my Lace Maker software. So I just, you know, selected these designs. I think they're in the Potpourri collection, and stitched them on the water-soluble mesh stabilizer, rinsed it away. And then I took a hand needle. You know, in my house, that would probably take me about 30 minutes to find a hand needle because I don't do much hand work, but I found it. And then I just used that same Kingstar thread and sewed into the top of the first snowflake, left a little space, just, you know, grabbed a portion of the second one and did the same from the top of the second one to the bottom. I could have added some beads in between each snowflake or at the top. That would have been pretty.
A great accent. Or pearls.
Or pearls, or a little jingle bell, you know, that's really fun. So, you know, there's so many options, so many options. I just love these. And then our garland on the tree is just a thin ribbon, sheer ribbon, that just kind of dissolves away into the tree. You barely see it. It's barely there. And then I use the buttonhole stitch on my machine to just tack it down, to bar tack that snowflake to the ribbon. Now, if you look closely, you'll know that I did this in a hurry and I used one color of thread. But if this were a gift, I probably would have used the silver Kingstar to tack it down on the silver snowflake and the gold and the turquoise and so forth, so that that would be invisible. You would never see it.
And you can just store that away and use it year after year. So beautiful.
And Deborah had a good tip. She taught me to take that garland and wrap it around a piece of cardboard, and then it stores and travels really easily. So that was a great idea. But on a gift card, here's a very inexpensive gift card. You know, cards have gotten super expensive, right? Well, instead of spending the money on an expensive box of cards, you could, you know, opt for the more inexpensive one and then stitch your snowflake and then just glue that on with double stick tape.
Because then it's the star.
Then it's the star, right? That's awesome. Okay, so some packages. So here's just brown craft paper, and then I used 2 lengths of baker's twine, and I just got some, you know, greenery from the craft store, and then I place a piece of double stick tape on the back of that snowflake.
Boy, you're good at getting that stuff off, Eileen. I'm not that fast.
Well, I prepped a little, you know, so I wouldn't have to struggle on camera. And then there you have it. Look how pretty that is, right? It's just a nice finishing touch to that greenery. And, you know, that's kind of a craft look.
Right.
Yeah. But you could elevate a winter wedding gift. You know, some people get married in the winter. And here's a lovely tone-on-tone wrapping paper, and then a silver, or really a gray sheer organza ribbon. But when you add this snowflake, again with the double stick tape, look how pretty that is. Wouldn't that look lovely on the guest table?
You know, I mean, what I love about that idea is that so many people expect from us crafters a homemade or a self-made gift.
Yes.
And if we don't have time to do that, isn't it nice to add that special touch to your package?
Yeah, and you know, one hoop full of 6, you know, this is Facebook Live, so the intention was to get 6 stitched in here, but you know, time flies by and I didn't actually get it done. But 6 of these take about 58 minutes to stitch. And with this Kingstar thread, it is just so flawless. I can hoop up that water-soluble stabilizer, press go, walk away, and in an hour, I have my 6 snowflakes. So you just kind of do this all day long while you're doing other things.
And who would ever think you could walk away from metallic thread?
I know. It's awesome. So, well, first I want to say hello to Faye from Australia. Thanks for joining us. And then Judy Warren from Hawaii, right? Aloha. And she said hello to you,
That's
too.
right. Hi, Judy.
Yeah, someday we're going to do Facebook Live at your house in Hawaii, right?
In the winter.
In the winter, yeah. Go see the whales. Okay, we're going off topic here. So the metallic thread comes in how many different colors, Deborah?
It comes in 15 beautiful colors, but we made a special pack of our favorites.
We did, yes, and just perfect for the holiday. So here, I'll kind of turn around so you can see what they are. So we have the metallic green and red for Christmas. We have this beautiful blue sapphire and a silver and a seafoam green. I call it seafoam. It probably has a different, they call it aqua. Silver and gold. So this pack is, there are 1,000-meter spools each. That's 6,000 meters of metallic thread. And this is going to last a long time.
Oh,
right?
Yes. It's bigger spools than what's typically sold.
As a metallic.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I have one spool of my gold. I'm still not through it. And I've done all these different snowflakes and so forth. So it lasts a long time. And I'm winding it in the bobbin. Now, if you choose not to do that, Deborah, what's your tip for what you would put in the bobbin if you're not going to put metallic?
Well, on the lace, I would use a matching 60 weight thread.
Okay.
Just a regular polyester 60 weight because, you know, it's a little lighter than your 40 weight. And it's fine to use the metallic because obviously it works. You've done lots of these ornaments with it. But if you want to preserve or conserve your metallic, use a regular 60 weight thread in a green or a red or a blue or whatever color metallic you're using.
Yeah, just so it semi-matches. You just don't want it to have the wrong side be a glaring white or a glaring black, something like that. Get as close as you can with a 60 weight thread. I know there's not a huge variety of color in 60 weight, but
you're talking about 15 colors in the metallic. So you can find one that matches.
Yeah, so we're super excited to offer this. This is our special this week on dzgns.com. So we'll have a special code at the bottom. So what kind of questions do you have about metallic thread, or maybe some nightmares that you've had before with metallic thread that you'd like to visit? And hi, Nancy Stansberry. Nice to see you here. Appreciate you coming in for Facebook Live. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Nancy Stansberry, but she did a beautiful block of the month for us a couple years ago.
I remember.
Yes,
very
really
nice.
Lovely. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Judy, I'm glad you like our ideas. I mean, and these are just really basic between the winter wedding, the stocking decoration. But, you know, the best part about these is just the sheen, and it just shines and shines and shines. It, you know, right across the room, it's a glimmer. And, you know, I've learned that long armors love this thread.
That's a great point because, you know, once they've tried it, they find that they can just go and go and go. And, you know, often long armors have shied away from metallics, even though they liked it.
Right.
The breakage was just made it unwieldy to use.
That's right.
But with Kingstar, you can just really go kiting with it.
And sometimes that's all you need in a quilt. It's just a little glisten of sparkle to add, that spark really to a quilt. So don't be afraid to add that in your quilting. And in fact, on this Saturday, on Software Saturday on my blog, I'm going to talk about how to digitize and what kind of designs to select for metallic thread that are really good for that. Let's see. So what size needle? Stephanie asked what size needle. Well, Deborah had mentioned it doesn't really matter because you're matching the fabric, right?
As long as you're going with a 7511 or larger, you're good to go. You don't want a really tiny eye like a 65 line, but the 7511, whatever you normally use, I'm almost certain you're going to find you can use your regular needle that you'd use for that specific fabric, which I think is huge because, when we buy specialty needles, they can be expensive.
Yes.
And you only use them a limited time. So use your regular needle and it'll work just fine.
Okay. So, let's see. Will this give the sparkle to panels? Absolutely. Panels often need a little more luster, so if you are working on a panel, maybe a holiday panel, and you don't want it to look like everybody else's holiday panel, most certainly that's a great application. And the red and blue are beautiful on American flags or any kind of military patriotic embroidery that you're doing. They look just great. And so Kingstar is made in Japan. And we have the exclusive rights to it here at DZGNS. So we're super excited to share that with everybody, right? And at our events around the country, they can experience this firsthand. Our educators have fabulous Kingstar samples that they have stitched out on their own that they just love, and they bring, of course, to the events. This weekend, we're at Ruthie's in Bakersfield, Florida, and we're also Baker, Florida. Where Melissa Burich is out at Tidewater, and Tina is at Shields in Idaho. So you can always go to Inspired by Dime and click on socials to find out where our educators are. But this Saturday, I'm excited to tell you that at 2:00, I'm going to be doing a live vendor walk from Quilt Market in Houston with my friend Christopher Blakeman. If you have been following along, we did a live vendor walk at BLT, Baby Lock Tech, in St. Louis in August. And this Saturday, we're going to be Central Time, 2:00 on the floor of Quilt Market. So we're super excited. And do you know, this is Christopher's first time to Quilt Market.
I can't believe
I can't believe that either. So he's going to be a kid in a candy store. And you know what, for me, it's exciting to go with someone who's never been before.
Right.
So and you'll be there too, Deborah. So we'll have a good walk, and you'll get to meet lots of different vendors, people that we didn't get to talk to at Baby Lock Tech. So
just one more tip, Eileen.
Sure.
When you're thinking about your, how you would use your metallic six-pack, think about those designs that have anything shiny in them, whether it's a car or a seashell or anything that might have that element in it, because really, you can use it in your regular designs too. I mean, here we've talked about lace mostly,
right?
But in your regular embroidery, you might be wondering just what that design needs, but my metallic would make it pop.
Yeah, like Deborah did the outline, a little shading on this globe. I think you actually have Mylar in here too, but she added silver to that outside edge. And, if we were at, PBS, you'd be able to see just how this really sparkles, but it's pretty amazing.
It's just a touch, even just that little accent, as you said earlier, makes a difference.
And anything that looks like water, like fish or something. They look wonderful.
Great idea.
Metallic thread.
They look like they just jumped out of the water. I love it.
It's awesome. Okay, so we're going to see you here next week on Thursday. Oh, that's Halloween.
Wow, that's scary.
That's scary. Yeah, no promises about costumes, but we'll see, right?
Right.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. I'm getting some high fives like, yes, do that, but we'll see. Yeah. Oh, Retha, Chris is your go-to store. Good for you. Where do you live, Retha? Let's see what she says. if she's in Wyoming or if she's in Colorado. It's so beautiful up there. Oh my goodness. Beautiful part of our country, right?
Yes.
Oh, well. Okay. Well, Retha, we'll catch you in the comments later. Oh, she's in Riverton, Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. I have not been there, but we'd look forward to going for
I'm sure it's beautiful.
I'm sure it is. Okay. So we'll see you Saturday. And if you can't make Saturday at 1 o'clock, next week, Saturday at 2 o'clock. Saturday at 2 o'clock Central Time. Back here next Thursday at 1 o'clock for gift number 6. Super excited about that. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.